The King of the Nerds is over, right?
It's over
we saw
for
the last
another
episode.
season. Yes.
What's his name won?
What's his name won? God bless him. Jonathan won.
Did we talk about
our first male?
But isn't that interesting though that this was the first male winner? But and I can't remember if we talked about this. But is this the first season? I'm sure this has happened on other reality shows, but this one began with the girls.
Yes.
Immediately, like making a macro alliance,
right.
almost exclusively across gender lines, like excluding only like 2 girls.
Yeah,
and it was really effective, and they just squeezed the guys out like toothpaste.
Yeah, that's true.
And the guys, to a man, all of the guys were eliminated with absolutely no idea that this was going on.
That's right.
It was like this biological phenomenon that just went, and they just squeezed the testosterone like popping a zit.
Pretty much.
And then, but the one guy that they let into that fucking alliance.
They let in 2.
Oh, it was the other guy?
And the other guy, they wound up competing against each other at the end.
Which was so biological. It was like they might as well have been like those horned rhino beetles, you know? Like it was like trying to throw each other off of a twig. While these women watched.
Yeah.
But I just think that's very interesting. That was the first season that I'd seen that happen where the girls just did this really effective thing that almost threatened to kind of destroy the show. Well, it was so simple.
I know. That was the thing that I loved about it, was that these women got together and they wound up letting a couple of guys in. But before they let the guys in, the idea was cross-team alliance to keep men out.
Based on the very practical, simple
awesome.
solution, which is that women built in, like they're in the women's bathroom together, and they're like they have that time together, and no one is going to suspect anything is off kilter if all of them are gone for a half hour and all come out at the same time because we don't know what goes on in there.
It's a super smart objective alliance technique because you can just say, well, it's just women because we're women, not because we don't like you or anything.
Yeah, if you did that with any other quality, any other attribute genetically, like you would be in big trouble.
It's just the fairest skin.
Yeah, it's just the tall people. We don't show like the short people gotta go. Or, you know,
that's all it is. It's not personal.
But mind you, as effective as it was as a strategy, 2 men wound up competing, and one of them actually won. There you are.
And it was the first male winner.
The one woman who was left out of the alliance was one of the final 4. So it really it was a strange series of things, but I loved it. I had a great time.
It was a great season. We really loved Colby. Like
Colby's
such a fascinating archetype. He was like if a hack white writer wrote like a magical black reality show contestant because he was there. Like the reason he was a nerd is because he grew up in the streets and wanted to make his mom happy. And
now he's a math teacher.
And he was a teacher, and I knew all the students were watching. It was like every single thing he said. It was like, wait, did William Goldman write you? I don't mean William Goldman's a hack. I didn't mean that. I mean he wrote Good Will Hunting and didn't even take credit. Like Colby was like he had that mood shift where it was like I don't know how much of this is editing, but like. He felt betrayed at one point. Like they put him up, like on this to sacrifice him, and he never really recovered from that emotionally. It looked like.
Yeah, he was odd. He had an odd feeling with the rest of them because he really, he wanted to be there obviously, and he'd done Jeopardy. He'd won Jeopardy like 3 times or something. So the guy has obviously had experience, but it's unusual when they get into Nerdvana. It does weird things to
one
people.
of the most outrageous the thing that had me like clenching my fist and yelling at the TV was the moment when he came back. They had tried to kill him and failed. So now he comes back, and there's always that weird thing in all reality shows, like, oh, you tried to slit my throat, and your knives didn't work. So let's play Parcheesi. But it was really I found it really culturally fascinating that here he is sitting there, a little dour, not totally willing to play improv Star Wars with them.
My read was that he was over it because there was kind of like a cliquey group sex vibe a little bit.
There was that too.
And that's when they all started
in
with this thing that drove me a little crazy where they were like...
Also, they were drinking, and he wasn't. He wasn't one
They
of the
started
drinkers,
playing the nerd card. in order to try to like, they're like, come on, we're all nerds. Like it's like, yeah, we're all nerds, but betrayal's betrayal.
Well, and then they were
like,
talking.
we all know what it feels like to be picked on and kicked on. Like, yeah, but you less so right now at this particular Ides of March.
And then they became like the bullies on the bus when you were a kid that were like, you've showered. Come on, man.
Yeah.
Like we're all. And then it's like the worst bullying.
I thought that was a really interesting. The show continues to fascinate me because again, they're like it's real nerds. They actually like they. And the reality show shit is all the same, but it reveals like more honest stuff than just like, oh, this Barbie doll broke in this way and this one broke in this way. It's like I like watching those dynamics.
No, thanks.
That heavy fella that had the nervous breakdown was comparing himself to Ra's al Ghul. It's like using Ra's al Ghul as a mentor. He's like, look, here's the reason I'm acting this way because Ra's al Ghul would do this and that. I'm like, well, but okay. Batman hates him. Anyways, you should watch it. It's what is it? They can watch it on demand or something.
You can watch it on TBS on demand, or you can watch it on iTunes, I think.